I dub thee a nerdy knight of the round, sworn defenders of all who oppress the nerd. Now, on to the round table. Listen to what they say, for their words will guide you.
It's another nerdy night as my round table joins me, Ben, the ridiculous Riddick, and my co-host Sam, DJ Fluffkins Chen, and Mike, the creator of Dickridus, DeMarco. Tonight, guys, we have a action-packed show. We're going to be talking to you about things like heroes fighting heroes in all of these upcoming superhero movies. We're going to be talking about the latest and greatest in virtual reality news, and of course, Destiny is getting an update, so we've got to talk about it. And The Division has one too, so we'll throw that in there as well. But before we get into that, let's go to Sam with the news.
All right, thanks, Ben. Well, Ford thinks Metal Gear Solid fans should really buy the Ford Fusion as they released 2 overdubbed commercials this week featuring Psycho Mantis and Solid Snake, further proving that Konami has no idea what to do with the franchise without Hideo Kojima.
You know, they've got to drive that franchise into the ground somehow.
I'm just going to buy a Kia, Ben. I'm just going to buy a Kia.
There you go. Guys, the Nintendo Zapper of Duck Hunt fame got an update this week. It's now just a Glock. In light of the recent controversy surrounding the Nintendo Glock, the company who posted the images confirmed that the gun would never see mass production.
See, I had an image of the headlines. Accidental shooting over fake mugging. It's going to be great.
Absolutely. And it was all done by a dog.
Gun violence is real. Don't play with guns.
No, don't play with guns.
Praying to the League of Legends gods is no longer just a saying. This week, an elderly Chinese woman stopped to pray at a promotional statue of the game, mistaking it for a Chinese deity. While social media had some compassion for the confused woman, I personally think she was just a huge League of Legends fan.
Duh.
Who isn't, man?
I know, right? I know I am. Guys, do you bemoan the lack of video gaming formal wear? Well, you're in luck, because suit maker Opa Suits has designed a Pac-Man suit just for you. This black notch suit, available in sizes 36 to 52, is adorned with the blue bumper outlines, colored ghosts with eyes, and of course, more yellow dots than you can count.
I tried counting, Ben. I stopped.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Waka, 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 waka. Sorry. Are you excited for the new Shaq Fu? Then head over to Walmart, where you can pick up your own bottle of Shaq Fu Punch. This 10% juiced pineapple-flavored beverage screams, Shaq started punching pineapples for juice, but then he got tired, so the other 90% is just water.
And the other 10% will kill Ben.
Yup.
Sad Affleck isn't just for Batman vs Superman anymore. While most brands on Twitter are usually full of fail, the Dark Souls team was on point when it overdubbed Sad Affleck's interview with the many deaths anyone encounters when playing the game.
Wah, wah.
Bum, bum, bum.
I agree. That's what it ends with. I agree. It's so funny. It's great. It's great. Well, that's it for this week's news. You didn't hear it here. It wasn't nerdy enough or funny enough for any of us to care.
This is true.
So true.
I don't care. So we're going to start the night with my topic, as we usually do, because I'm the awesomest person.
Are you sure?
On the show. Yeah.
We're not starting with active quests?
No, I guess we could start with active quests. You know, we really need to change the order on our outline so that active quest does actually come after Sam's news segment. Mike, tell me, what have you been up to?
Let's see. I started playing. This is a good one. I started playing that Kingdom Hearts game that just came out on iOS.
Right.
And it's pretty awesome. It's actually really good. It's kind of like Final Fantasy Record Keepers was, but a little bit easier and more game-like, I guess.
I've never heard of Final Fantasy Records Keeper, but it sounds really boring.
You probably would not. No, it's Record Keepers.
Record keepers, not record keeping. Okay.
Yes.
That sounds a little better.
It's pretty good. I still play it. It's fun, but it is definitely for someone who knows about a lot of the Final Fantasy games because you go through every game, and it doesn't like hold your hand about the story. Like you're supposed to kind of know what the story is for each game, and just do battles and stuff from each one. But this Kingdom Hearts game it's like the first in the Kingdom Hearts storyline. It's like way back, and it's been out in Japan for a long time, like on browsers. But we finally got an American version of it on iPhone. So if anyone's out there playing, and you're on Team Volpes, you can join the Nerdy Knights party, and be in our group and play with us.
So
Me and Em are both playing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Maybe I'll jump into that. That might be fun.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, I feel left out now. No, I'm just kidding.
You can join too, Sam.
Guys. It's all good.
Sam, how about you? What have you been up
I'm not even at the level cap for Division yet. I haven't been playing it. Well, I haven't been. He hasn't
been playing much.
Yeah. If I'd played, I'd be there. So it's over in the corner because I used it for another show, but I got my Last of Us soundtrack on vinyl this week. Pre-ordered it like a year ago. It was supposed to ship in December. It finally shipped.
I forgot about that. They announced that when they did Last of Us Live, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. I think we were talking about how like I don't have any decorations for the other show that I'm working on. I'm definitely considering like just framing the 4 records and putting them on the wall.
I mean, that sounds.
Unfortunately, it means I have a box that I don't know what to do with, but it's fine because it's like sleeved into a box. But still, whatever. We'll figure it out. I don't know if it's worth listening to. Like I wonder if I just retained more value by never opening it.
Gotcha.
I should probably listen to it because I'm not I'm not that kind of collector. I play with my toys.
Yeah.
I play with my toys.
I'm that kind of collector too. I'm actually the kind of collector that if I really, really like something, I just buy 2 of them so I can play one and play with one and keep the other box.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
I will say, Ben, one of my friends who's possibly moving out here, we were talking about it. I'm going to fly to Florida to help him drive out here. He was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring my like massive amiibo collection. I'm like, oh God.
I'm definitely taking mine with me.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he wants to just ship it to me, I'll take it.
I think that's what's going to end up happening. He's just going to ship it out separately, but
yeah,
still,
we did that a lot when we moved out to California. We shipped most of our shit, and
I don't know why he has so many. I don't think he has a Wii.
The amiibos are good quality freaking toys, though. Yeah. I mean, look at that.
I rarely use them as actually like game stuff.
I'm like 90% sure his are still in the box too, man.
Yeah, a lot of people keep them in the box.
Yeah.
I don't.
They're good decoration.
How about you, Ben?
Well, maybe I can put them up on bookshelves. I'll get more gaming legitimacy that way.
Yep.
Boom.
That's how you get gaming legitimacy: is you buy amiibos.
You buy amiibo.
That's why no one believes that Nikki is a gamer.
Oh, we could donate her some. Ben, what have you been up to?
Oh, I've had a really busy week, but it's been full of travel at the same time. So I've actually been reading a lot of comics, which I'm sure shocks and amazes everybody here.
You like comic books?
I know.
Surprise.
You must not like that Batman guy, right?
No, Batman's a total tool, man. No, but I got to go to this comic book store in North Carolina, and it was really great because the owner of said comic book store was in there defending Batman vs. Superman as I walked in.
Oh.
And it was just so great because he was saying pretty much everything that I was saying about how much I loved the movie on the NK spoiler cast.
You know what 2 wrongs make, Ben?
You just don't understand, Sam. You
could have said it right. Come on.
I didn't.
No, I don't understand. No, you know what? I will say our discussion makes me appreciate it a lot more, and that's valuable since I'm sure I'll probably go see the next movie because you schmucks who are going to make me.
Yep, you're absolutely right. But speaking of Batman versus Superman,
Yes.
the
Benway.
I have been getting I've been getting questions from a lot of my friends about the current trend of heroes fighting heroes. I got a tweet a couple weeks ago from a good friend of mine asking why he should be excited about Civil War. Like he legitimately, he's been seeing the trailers and he sees all the hype, but he does not himself understand why Captain America and Iron Man fighting against each other is something that he would want to see.
Right.
One of my coworkers, when Batman vs Superman came out, walked up to me and just said, "Why would Batman and Superman fight?" To which, I mean, my response was, Batman and Superman always fight, but
Yeah.
but it's not just true in the movies. The comic books love to do it too. We've seen the regular Civil War. We've seen in the New 52 there is a Batman versus Superman comic.
Avengers versus X-Men.
Avengers versus X-Men.
Civil War 2 is about to happen. Yeah.
X-Men Schism happened.
Schism.
There's so many different heroes versus heroes things out there that I had trouble explaining why this is such an interesting thing. So I kind of wanted to start by asking you guys what you thought of heroes fighting heroes, like what your opinion on it is, if it's something you actually enjoy watching, if you think there's too much of it, and then I'm going to then go into why I think it is the way I think it is.
Okay.
So Sam, I'm gonna
Then
start.
I'm going to tell you why you guys are wrong.
No, I mean you guys might be right. That's why I'm saying, who knows. So Sam, I kind of want to start with you because you're the. I feel like
I'm the token noob. Noob.
The three of us are a very good group of people because you have almost no experience with comics at all. Mike has some, like to the point where he can have a good conversation with a comic book fan. And then I'm on the other end of the spectrum where, I just know comics.
He consumes them.
I consume them.
He lives in them.
Exactly. So Sam, I want to start with you. Tell me your thoughts and opinions on heroes fighting heroes.
So, okay, I'm going to derive some of what I know based on assumptions and things that have been fed to me that may or may not be right.
Okay.
So,
which is perfectly fine because
I like it
how a lot of people do it.
Yeah, I like it because I think how it's kind of been sold to me is that there's a little bit of like nuance within the personalities and the beliefs of different heroes, right? I mean, it's the same thing. You're still getting like the superpower like battling between a hero and a villain, but a hero and a hero, but they don't have to agree on all of the methods. They don't have to agree on who they save versus who they kill, all that sort of things. And that those nuances tend to play out in the long run, right? Because at the end of the day, when you look at some of the way superheroes are set up in the world, there's always that like, is this vigilante going too far, right? Well, they are vigilantes at the end of the day, and they could think the same about each other. So I think in that sense, I'm excited because I think there is a lot of nuance to that. That being said, I think so far, I've not ever seen it play out explicitly enough in storytelling. I mean, I think Batman v Superman tried to do it.
What did you think about the very first Flash and Arrow crossover? Because that pitted the two against each other for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did. I don't know if I thought a lot of it because of the way they kind of didn't take it. Both those shows, I feel like, don't take themselves that seriously, especially the way movies do. So to me, that Barry Allen seemed like pretty silly in general to me. Like there's a lot of joking around. So I didn't feel the weight of that as part.
I'm going to tell you right now, pretty much every Barry Allen out there is jokey like that, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Again, this is the noob perspective.
No, I know.
So no, I didn't read much into it just because, yeah, I mean, I get where they're drawing the line, but I don't feel like that line was as fundamental to the characters the way I think it is portrayed for other things. Might be wrong. I don't know.
Mike, how about you?
Yeah. So, heroes versus heroes as a concept is something we've had forever, pretty much. And in comics, obviously, you get, this history of characters that helps you build up and create that separation between them and reasons why they would fight. When they try and do it in movies, it doesn't really work the same way because usually either the series is way shorter or it's like basically in the first movie, which is what Batman and Superman did. And
Right.
they try and build it up within a 2 hour time period. And then of course you already know they're gonna team up and help each other. Like that's the trope. Like
Right.
two heroes are gonna fight, then they're gonna figure out that the real enemy is someone else and they're gonna fight together to beat that thing. Luckily, Marvel has gone the other way where over the past 10 years now, 8
Yep.
years, we've had Iron Man movies and we've had Captain America movies, and we know what makes them the characters they are. And they've had that headbutting since the beginning. Since the first time they were on screen together in Avengers, they've butted heads.
Mhm.
Not to the point where they're going to fight, which is exactly what we want. Like,
Well,
we
I mean,
see the
Avengers
ideological
1, how
differences.
many times does Steve Rogers say, go put on the suit, Tony?
Yeah, exactly. So now that we're getting the Civil War, and that's finally going to come to a head, and the other thing is about Civil War is like, we don't know yet, obviously, because the movie's not out yet, but as far as we know, there isn't like a big bad. Like the movie is going to be the two teams fighting until one team wins. Like that's how it's going to end.
Which I think is actually good, because in Civil War, the comic, there was no big bad.
Yeah, exactly. Really, effectively, Tony is the big bad in the comic. Like,
Yep.
they don't portray it that way the whole time, but really, Iron Man's the bad guy, and this is a Captain
You
America
could
movie,
argue
so they're
that
kind
Reed
of going to go
Richards
that way
is really
too.
the bad guy and all that.
That's true too. But he's on Team Iron Man. It's
Yes,
Team
this
Captain,
is-
Team Iron Man.
This is true.
So I mean, I think as far as what the current stuff is happening with Heroes versus Heroes, Civil War 2 aside, I think Civil War the movie is going to give us a new take that everyone's going to experience, not just the people that are reading the comics or whatever.
Yeah.
Like everybody's going to see heroes fighting each other, and there's going to be a winner. It's not going to be, oh, there's something else out there. Let's all get together and beat that, and we're all friends again. Because Martha's my mom's name.
Spoilers.
Wait, your mom's name is Martha?
Why are you saying that? Sorry. I get really emotional about hearing the name Martha. So here's my thought on it. I think you're absolutely right, Mike. Comics do it a lot better because they have a lot more time to grow these characters that they're talking to, or that they're portraying.
Mm-hmm.
And what makes the best of these so great is that there is no, like you said, big bad that follows them. I think Civil War is going to be really the one that does it right. And
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by doing it right?
well, because like Mike said, they've had the experience over the last 8 to 10 years building up these characters. So there's ingrained reasons why these two might fight.
Pause for 1 second, Ben.
Yes.
What you're doing with your hand, it's creating this big shadow on your face. So just see like that. So
Okay.
just don't do that as much.
Okay.
You know, that thing with your mouth where you move it and it makes noise.
You know what, Sam?
Sorry.
But yeah, basically, what we've seen before in this genre of film, like good guys fighting each other, it never really has a build up, and then it doesn't really have a payoff because they're trying to get you in for the fight.
Yep.
Like everything about Batman v Superman was like you want to see Batman and Superman fight for the whole 5 minutes it's going to happen, and then that's why they're trying to get you into the seat.
Mhm.
They already showed us they're going to team up, like even before the movie came out. So it's not like we thought, like even the normal people that don't know how these movies work they knew that Superman, Batman, and then Wonder Woman were going to be together when they were fighting something else. Like
Yep.
it was in the trailer, so it's not a surprise that they don't kill each other or one of them doesn't die or whatever.
Well, the other thing the other thing that I really like about Civil War is Civil War specifically. It's not as pronounced in other hero versus hero books, but Civil War specifically, it has the human element in it, the non-powered people element.
It's political.
Sorry, it's very political.
Yeah.
It's the U.S. government. I don't know the story for the Civil War movie. If you consider spoilers for the comic book Civil War, spoilers for the movie, I might cover my ears for a minute. But I mean, the big inciting incident for the Civil War comic is the freaking demolishing an entire neighborhood because, there were these unchecked heroes.
Is it over yet, Ben?
I don't think that's a spoiler because, I think it's like that happens before the story. So,
yeah, but I don't know how they're going to explain the Sokovia Accords.
Oh well, they're replacing it with New York and Sokovia and the helicarrier. They're using that as the launching pad for everything. They're using Loki and Ultron to be like, this is what happens when we let you guys just go and do stuff without having someone over you.
But I mean, it answers the question that a lot of readers have in their disbelief of comics. It's like, okay, what American government does this universe exist in? Because I don't think there's anybody that would ever allow Iron Man to become so big, or even Captain America to become the kind of power that he is. So I'm really excited to see that because, it really adds that regular humans are terrified. Mm-hmm. I will say, though, that I think the best comic to have ever done the Heroes Fighting Heroes is X-Men Schism. Which is, just to give you like a very brief rundown of it, it's Logan, Wolverine, and Cyclops are disagreeing with how the school has to be run after there's no more Xavier. So there's this fight between Wolverine and Cyclops, and then there are, at the end of it, and in the universe from this point on, there have been two separate teams of X-Men, the school X-Men and the Uncanny X-Men. And that's an event where they're fighting that has changed the universe forever. And both sides have merit to why they were, arguing. But no, I enjoy them. The other thing that I feel like it answers, it's like, how many times have you heard, if Batman and Superman got in a fight, this person would win, or this person would win. It's like, this is just... These are the comic book publishers saying, okay, well, you keep asking the question, so I might as well make it happen.
Yeah, but then they never actually
But they don't answer the question.
Stan Lee has famously said that before about a number of different hero fights. He's like, everyone keeps asking for it, so we'll put them together, but then we're always going to end it before there's a conclusion, so that there is no answer, so that we can keep going with both stories and you buy more comics.
To taunt you.
Yeah.
To be fair, Batman has proven that he at least has the plans to destroy every Justice League.
Every person that has powers ever.
Except for himself. Because, who needs to be able to destroy him?
Now, what about Superman versus Goku? Because I think that argument's bullshit.
Well, what's the argument?
Yeah.
That Superman would win.
I don't know about... Yeah, I can see that.
No, because...
They put crazy math into that.
So here's the thing. Sense. Goku's a Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 levels above Super Saiyan.
Whatever.
By the end of whatever. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I imagine being any kind of Saiyan is magical in properties,
and probably at least equivalent to being a Kryptonian if we're going to be like an alien, a strong alien species.
Yeah, with magic.
Yeah.
Okay, what is Superman's number 2 weakness?
Magic.
Magic. So, I think that's pretty easy to determine that Goku would win in a fight against Superman.
I thought the most obvious version of it was going to be Goku collects the Dragon Balls, wishes that Superman was not on a yellow sun planet.
He wouldn't even have to do that. When Superman goes to punch Goku and they're in contact, he can instant transmission anywhere he wanted to. Like
That's fair.
within a distance that
Is it
he
fair, Sam?
knows.
Is that
It
a
is
fair
fair.
statement?
It is a fair statement, damn it.
All right, we should probably wrap
I feel
this
like I
topic.
haven't said it enough.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and move. Before we move on to the next topic, I just want to remind everyone that Nerdy Nights Radio is live on Twitch every Monday evening at 7:30 Pacific time, and you can be a part of the show like Citizen PM is in the chat. You can then find our show on YouTube at nkrn.org/YouTube and on your favorite podcast subscription service of choice. All right, Sam. Let's talk about your topic.
I'm on the hype train. I am on the hype train.
You know, I'm just glad that you finally got on it.
Yeah.
I am totally on the VR hype train now. So obviously,
What was the moment that you jumped? Like what caused it?
Well, I started getting into it, and then watching some of the gameplay that I saw this week from the Vive really kind of sold it for me. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Oculus, PSVR, and the Vive are all very different iterations of VR. With HTC really being like, get off your fucking couch, mount these things in the wall, and play in a room. Which is just a really different style of gaming. Oculus, I think, is probably the most limited version. Maybe that'll change over time with the I feel like they just have head tracking. There's no specific plans for other controllers. Anyone know?
I mean,
just the Xbox controller?
I guess, yeah.
Well, I mean, as of now, they haven't announced anything, right?
Right.
Whereas you have the PS VR, which is a little bit of a combo. It's not really going to be full 360. Maybe to an extent it is. But then you also have the controllers, right?
Right.
So
you have DualShock or you have the Move controllers.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's almost a hybrid. So I think we're getting to it. Like, I'm starting to be convinced that people are thinking about these games from a completely different level. So I watched an hour gameplay video of a game called The Lab, which is like Valve's kind of like sandbox-y sort of VR game that's available on Steam. And it was just really cool because when you think of a game like Portal, right? The two things that you really control are like spatially and then timing, right? Those are the two big mechanics in the game, right? You figuring out where the portals go to this. But like you watch this guy like shooting the arrows at the weird people attacking the gate, and you realize like with VR, you could potentially introduce other things, like other mechanics that aren't as simple as like how hard you push a button, right? And so to me, that's pretty immersive. That's pretty cool. That could change things.
This changes everything.
This changes everything. Great. I mean, I still think so. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Why do you think mainstream media is downplaying VR so much? Why do you think every time we hear anything, it's saying, "Oh, but it's not for everyone. It won't be for everyone." Like as if like really only super nerds are ever gonna ever play VR. Which, by the looks of some of the stuff that's coming out, I think it's less and less true than I thought before.
I think it's a mix because no, I don't think they're specifically catering to only the super nerds that are going to be buying VR. Like they're going to go that Wii route when they're just making like fun experiences for anyone to play. But those people aren't going to be buying these things. So it's kind of almost a mixed like
why not?
Mixed ideology because they're too expensive. The reason people got a Wii is because they played bowling once and they're like, oh, that's worth $200. But nobody, I don't think anyone's gonna sit down with a VR and play like that tennis game and be like, well, this is worth dropping $2,000 on.
Yeah, okay, but like it should drop at some point, right?
Eventually,
Maybe?
yeah, but I think once that happens, we'll start seeing that that casual market, like that marketing pick up.
Okay.
Once it goes even like definitely once it goes beyond gaming, like the the HoloLens, I think is going to be different as far as when it becomes available and the marketing happens, because you can use that for so many things that are practical in the house and stuff that you'll be able to market to people that normally probably wouldn't care.
Yeah, like
This
talking
is still
about
specific
actually
to
being able
games.
to wire a light switch by throwing on the HoloLens is something that just is fascinating to me in
Right.
general. And then the other thing, the way I kind of see VR playing out, it's right now, it's really in the hands, I think, of PlayStation to push and show how good VR is going to be at a price that is not a couple grand.
Yeah.
Because the PlayStation VR is still the cheapest option for VR.
hmm
At
It's going
least
to be
at
the
this
entry
level.
point for most people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think if Sony does a good job in showing the potential, that the others will be able to finally, they'll be able to say, see, this is why spending an extra $2,000 to get a better experience than what the PlayStation is giving you is going to be good. And here's my honest to God thought on where VR is going to go is we're going to start seeing virtual classrooms
hmm
where it's, you're going to start taking an art history class where you're walking the Louvre. And learning the art by being able to walk up to it and really kind of experience the art in a different kind of way, or you didn't like the old lectures of World War II of D-Day. Well, here's this VR rendition of D-Day. You're going to sit through what it was like for the average person walking out into the water and just being annihilated. I think the applications for VR beyond gaming are what really make me excited to
Yeah.
see. Because I mean, think of think of like the quality of life for a patient in a hospice center. It's like I'm on my last legs. The only thing I ever wanted to see was Vienna by moonlight. And okay, well, here's a walk through Castle Schönbrunn. You can walk through the butterfly garden before you die. I think there's so many potential things for VR that is not being marketed right now
Yeah.
because the what I am describing is not what people are going or is not what people want right now.
Right.
But those,
I
those
mean,
are the applications that are going to sell it down the road.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think what I realized at first, and I think it took just some time for me to really see that developers were kind of on board with this plan. But when we
Because
think
you
of
didn't
like,
believe me when I told you about that at PSX.
no, I didn't. I really didn't. Like, I just did not see what
The
and
45 different games that you could go play.
no, but it was also like what they were doing with the games,
Yeah.
right? Like when you told me about a game that you could like hit your head and head balls into the net, that does not sell it. Like
That's
it really
Wii-like.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's very like it's not almost not even. It's like Wario World, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I still couldn't sell it to you with Eve Valkyrie when I was explaining that game to you.
Again, like that is to me that was just it's going to look really cool. Right?
What do you
I think it was hard for you to
VR
describe
games are going to be like?
what?
Never mind. Go ahead and continue.
I don't think I was thinking about it and thinking, oh, the gameplay is going to be like something incredible,
Yeah.
like or incredibly different. I think that's the stuff that I've started to see with the Vive that got me excited. And I think it's just because I don't know how much of that was available in the PSVR. Was there a lot of that with the controllers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite
I
a
feel,
bit.
I feel like there's a point in learning about this technology that you have to get to for it to click, and it's just like, for
That's
instance,
why.
a lot of people they can't wrap their mind around the concept of designing a controller around VR, they feel like either you're going to use the headset for everything or you're going to use the controller for everything, and then you're just going to look through the headset. And they don't imagine the headset tracking being a third joystick, which is what it is effectively. Like the VR headset, hopefully, is going to be as revolutionary for gaming as dual joystick.
Yep.
Like hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
if they develop the right stuff for it, it will be. But if they don't develop it, then it's just gonna fail and die.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, there's some
Waggle
even
did.
basic stuff where like the Leap motion controller.
Yeah.
Like when the first time I saw that strapped to the front of a VR unit, I was like, "This is dumb," and now I'm like, "Actually, that makes total sense." Because what's the first thing you're gonna do when you put on that headset? You're probably gonna reach out for something, right? And all of a sudden, oh, there, look, my hands. I mean, I think so. So the way that I kind of got to it, and Paul and I were talking about this, is the way Alexa is like 0.001 version of Jarvis.
Yep.
VR first gen VR is 0.001 version of the holodeck.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And that's cool. Now I kind of get it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you're also seeing it the same way I am. It's like a virtual freaking field trip or classroom in the future.
Yeah, I mean,
It'll get to that point.
exactly.
I'm waiting for the SAO, like Nerve gear. Like that's what I want.
The Nerve gear.
Yes.
Then we'll all be in the Matrix. Then we won't know if it's real or not. Great.
We're already in the Matrix.
Oh, sad face.
No, I just think there's so much potential with VR, and it's like I was telling you, Sam, when I was trying to explain it at PlayStation Experience. I don't think that I could sell anyone on VR unless they put it on and tried it.
Yeah. I mean, I think part of it was my first experience was just so bad.
Yeah.
Like, it was one of those things where now that I look back at it, hey, guess what, PlayStation? You should not have had that game there. Because that did you no service. That stupid bomb defusal game. Like, it just made me think, like, this was not going to be good.
Right.
And now I'm at the other side of the bandwagon, and...
No. That's going to be the battle that all three of these companies are going to have right now, where it's like, the only way to sell someone on this thing is to get them in a chair and have them play it, and for that experience to be good, to be what it's supposed to be. Like, there are so many variables that can go wrong in that path that people are just going to fall off and not care. And hopefully you'll be able to win them back somehow, but likely for this first generation, they're going to be gone. Yeah. So, like, that's going to be the real test, is they have to make that margin big where people get it, it clicks, and they want it. And it has to succeed for us to keep developing this in a decent time frame.
Yeah.
Which hopefully will be like people like us.
Yeah.
After we get them, and then friends are coming over, and you're like, you got to play this.
Yeah.
It's not the Wii, unfortunately, but it's going to be awesome. You're going to love it.
Because all three of us are going to have shelled out money for at least one version of one of these VRs.
I mean,
at some point.
It's getting increasingly difficult to not see a future where I have a PC gaming rig. Like, it's a very sad reality. I don't want to succumb to the PC master race. Yeah. But I'm thinking it probably will happen.
I honestly don't think that I game enough to make that leap. But
yeah, not just for gaming, but yes.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Yeah. All right. Well, let's take this second to remind everyone to not forget to catch us on our other shows throughout the week. My sister Anna and I host a comic book club show every Wednesday. Our next book got delayed a week, unfortunately, but it will be up this Wednesday, right, Mike?
What book is it?
Yes, indeed.
It is Wonder Woman Hikatia. Our first, both Anna and I's first ever Wonder Woman book read, really. So it's definitely worth watching. You can definitely support the show by visiting nkrn.org/nerdy-novels and buy the book through our Amazon affiliate link. Because we get to see some of that money, and it allows us to keep the lights on for a few more seconds.
And is it Nerdy Novels?
Nightly Novels.
Sorry, the URL you said was Nerdy Novels. I was confused.
Is it? Did I say that? I meant Nightly Novels.
Nightly Novels. Nightly with a K.
Nightly.
Yes. Okay. Every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, you can catch Mike hosting the Nerdy Nights Let's Play podcast. Currently, he is taking me through Final Fantasy VII for my very first Final Fantasy game completion ever, which is awesome.
Can I just say, it was really disappointing when you guys were like, Sam, just wait until we get to Red 13. And like, I've been watching for weeks, and we're still not there yet. Hurry up, damn it! Release more episodes!
Whoa.
See, this is what we wanted, though, Mike. We wanted people to demand more episodes.
Yeah.
So it's working.
Everyone might have just heard a little bit of a Division trailer or something, but I fixed it.
I will say, if in about 3 episodes I don't get recognition for watching the show, I will stop tuning in.
Well, to be fair,
we're recognizing you right now and on Twitter.
And also, to be fair, we've recorded about 40 episodes by the time that...
Yeah.
No!
Yeah, we're all the episodes that are... We have episodes ready up until at least halfway through May. So you guys are like 6 weeks behind us as far as how episodes come out. Yeah.
Boo. Oh, that's okay.
And Sam doesn't host any shows because he's not cool enough yet.
Nope, not yet.
Not yet.
But when I do, it's gonna be awesome.
For all these shows and more, visit www.nkrn.org. Thank you guys so much. Let's move on to our final topic of the evening, which is Mike's.
My topic.
Your topic.
Tomorrow, we are getting a big-ass April update for Destiny, and we're also getting the 1.1 update for The Division, because they had to come out on the same day, of course. I did not do the work I needed to do and make a little list of like the highlights of what we needed, but I figured we would just kind of talk about the updates and what we like and don't like, and I believe me and Ben already decided we're playing Destiny tomorrow.
Yeah.
But Division is still... We're still going to play Division 2. Just maybe not the first day.
Yeah.
And the 2 websites I pulled up don't help me at all, because they're both videos. Anyway, we want to talk about Destiny first? Let's hit Destiny first.
You want to hit Destiny?
Sure.
Okay. Let's do it.
So, the big news... 335 light level.
It seems like such a weird number, but I guess like we only went up 2 levels every time we got an update before.
Like I thought it sounded pretty low too, but as I heard people talk about it, because I didn't play Destiny until Taken King. So then once I heard people talk about like this is the biggest light jump we've ever had, I'm like, oh okay, well then I guess that's fine.
Right, it's just the round number confuses.
Yeah.
I prefer my numbers to end in 0.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
But my second favorite number for numbers to end in is 5, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah. What's the other? The next biggest thing is probably Prison of Elders.
Yeah, which
it's huge update.
I'm excited about that. I liked Prison of Elders.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was fun to go through
for a while.
But yeah, there are some things that really pissed me off.
Yeah.
And they're throwing in a level 41 version of it, right? That's 42, what it is.
I think.
What?
I think it's 42 technically.
I think
it's high. It's higher than what we are. It's hard mode.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's called Challenge of the Elders.
Right.
It's gonna have
it's almost like a trials
boss
kind
battles.
Of thing. Yeah, where you go and get a bounty thing, and then you get points throughout the week, and you have to complete it to get the rewards and stuff.
Oh. Yeah. It's definitely so. The way it's described is it's claim an Elder Sigil from Varix each week in the Reef and put your fire team to the test against 3 consecutive boss waves. The bosses and the gameplay modifiers change each week for a total of 16 unique encounters. Your score is tracked on the Elder Sigil and on Bungie.net. And the way they're explaining it is there's actually going to be like twists and turns and an actual story to Prison of Elders.
Yeah,
which I think is cool. And I mean the fact that they're saying there's story in prison. I'm actually believing them since they told me that there was story in Taken King.
Yeah, and they pulled it off.
Yeah, they pulled it off very well.
Um,
The really exciting thing about that is those Prison of Elders exotics are going to be relevant
mhm.
again, because for some stupid reason they made them irrelevant
Yeah.
um, in the literal update that happened after Prison of Elders. Um, so it'll be fun to be able to use the Queenbreaker's bow again because I did really enjoy using that gun.
Yeah.
Lord of
So
Wolves too.
so we're still gonna have our old elders. We're gonna have a new, I think, a matchmaking like level that's like 330 or something, and then we have the Trial of the Elders or Challenge of the Elders, which is like 335. That'll get you max gear and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Um, the next best thing, as far as all the news, I think, is probably the Infusion update.
Yeah, that
Um,
is freaking
it's a
awesome.
big deal.
Hmm.
So, if anyone's familiar with Destiny, um, when you have low level gear and you have high level gear, you can infuse the low level gear with higher gear to make the low level higher to upgrade it. And you always got a split amount of the total amount. So you progressively make it stronger and stronger by putting really high level gear into it.
Yeah.
Now they fixed it so it's not super annoying. You don't need a calculator to do it. You can just
Yay!
take something that's 330 and throw it into something that's 5 and it becomes 330.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
No, none of that stupid. Oh, let's meet halfway thing.
Yeah, it's super dumb. Um,
Yay!
and then in addition to that, there's a bunch of sandbox updates, weapon changes. They changed like the revive timer. Little just
And they
updates to keep
changed
everything
how long
basically
it takes
balanced.
to revive
Yes,
people. Not only did they add like 2 seconds to like trials
right,
revives, but they added how long it takes for you to
right.
revive.
So now you can't sprint through someone with a chest of Alpha Loopy and revive them before you get past them.
Yeah.
You have to actually be on them for half a second to get them up.
You know what I find really interesting is the addition of armor that you can buy with real
Yes,
money.
it's very interesting because
What?
technically they've introduced microtransactions.
Yep.
They did
Boo!
that
Well, hold
before when
on.
they introduced the Eververse,
Mhm.
but originally it was only like emotes and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Now you're gonna be able to buy these gift box, these packages that are the same thing you earn when you do trials and when you do
Yeah, so you can
things
still
with
get these
shacks and stuff.
things.
You can get them in the
You can
game.
still get them in game without paying for
Right,
it.
it's just a gift box.
Yeah.
Now, whether you buy it from the Eververse or you earn it from trials or whatever, or from prison or whatever,
Hmm.
that box gives you gear that's level 3.
Light level
It's light
3.
level 3, so it's useless. But it does have skills and nodes on it that you level up and you get on your character, like traits. That goes into the infusion system. So you can buy gear technically that's level 3, and you can't buy whatever you want. You get a mystery box. You
Yeah.
can buy gear with real money, but it's useless, and you have to infuse it up. So you have to be level 335 to turn that gear into level 335. So you
Right.
still have to play the game for real to be able to get to that point.
Yeah, it's not like it's giving you
You can't
okay.
pay to win. It's
Yeah,
impossible.
you can't go out and buy level 335
Right.
armor. So the way it's doing it, I think it's the only possible way that this would have worked.
Mm-hmm.
Plus that new emote that's coming out, I really
The
want
Taken one?
the Taken one,
I want it so
where
bad.
where you can do the
You can do the switching.
yeah, it's
And you
it's
can't buy that or anything either. You have to get the full Taken armor set to get that emote.
yeah,
You have the whole set, and then you go to the Eververse, and it'll be there for free, and you get it. It's awesome.
which I think
I love it.
is very cool.
It's great. Sam doesn't
Yeah,
seem
I
pleased.
feel like this is too much work. I'm not coming back.
Too much work.
No,
That's okay. You don't play any video games with us anyways, so
I know.
That's true.
I have no friends, guys.
You do have friends. You just don't come play with us.
Yeah,
and then-
I think I don't know if these microtransactions would have been successful if they had happened upon launch. Obviously, like the infusion system enables them, but even if there were a different version at launch, I don't know. I feel like they're probably going to get a buy just because the game is dead or dying.
you say that because
I mean, people
you're
are
not playing.
People are playing.
There are
but
still more people playing Destiny than playing The Division.
I don't deny that. I don't
So
deny
you
that.
can't say
So
that
how's
it's a
it dying?
dead game or that it's dying.
Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, buddy. Sure. The game still lives on in my heart.
I think Division and Destiny are both living well right now, and I don't see Destiny going anywhere.
Yeah.
And Division is still a little early to call. We don't know. This update's going to be the first kind of milestone to see if it's going to last, because we're getting. Let's just transition right into Division. We're getting our first raid tomorrow.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we're going to start seeing real endgame content, not just go in the dark zone and kill stuff.
Yeah, tomorrow we're going to start seeing if I'm going to actually continue playing this game.
Exactly, pretty much beyond getting the platinum, which we're both going to get the platinum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm 2 trophies away.
yeah, I'm
Platinum in the
probably
game.
pretty close to that too. Anyway, so yeah, the incursion's the big thing for Division. We're getting the raid. Supply drops, I think, is the next thing that's big. That's a really cool Dark Zone thing, if you guys have heard about it. Essentially, when you're in the Dark Zone, there's going to be random times throughout the day or whatever, after a cooldown, in a random spot in the Dark Zone, there's going to be a supply drop. A helicopter's going to come and drop stuff, and it's good gear. And at that point, everyone's signaled that it's there, so everyone in the Dark Zone is going to be rushing it, including AI, including enemies. So
Yeah.
even if no other players are there, you're gonna have to fight enemies to get it. And the gear that's there is all supposed to be really good gear, and you don't have to get it out. You don't have to extract it either. You can get it, and then you can equip it right from there.
Well, that's
So
cool.
I think that's a pretty cool feature. Like that'll bring some more attention to Dark Zone and actually probably create more rogues. Hopefully,
Yeah.
because you're gonna have to fight
because-
players to get
uh-huh.
it. Which is something that's severely lacking since we started playing Division. I haven't played in the last week or so, but I doubt it's changed. There's not really much rogue activity going on. And then the third thing I would say is they're really messing with crafting a lot. They're changing the
messing.
crafting system a lot.
Oh, I need to get on today and craft all my
Upgrade
stuff.
all your stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone's played the Division and they haven't upgraded all their materials to gold and stuff yet, you should do that, because tomorrow
But if you're
it's going to
listening
cost
to this
more to do
because
it.
you downloaded it on iTunes or you're watching it on YouTube,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
too late for
Too
you.
late, sorry. You should watch it live on Monday nights.
So, Paul, that game that you don't have, do that thing.
But yeah,
I
so
mean-
all the upgrades are going to cost like twice as much, and a bunch of the crafting stuff is going to be harder to do, I guess, too, or something. I don't remember the exact specifics.
or something.
But I do like what they're doing, where they're taking a bunch of stuff that requires Division Tech and they're getting rid of the Division Tech requirement, and they're using Division Tech as like, this is the current high level gear. So like as new gear comes out for crafting, that requires Division Tech, and then the old stuff that used to doesn't need it anymore. So it helps you kind of climb the ladder if you're not keeping up to like the top of the line, which is interesting.
Yeah. I mean, the increased drop rates for high-end items
Yeah.
on named NPCs is great. I mean, it's 100%.
Yeah.
All named NPCs are going to drop high-end, which is the highest. It's the Division version of exotic
Yeah.
weapons.
Guaranteed exotics, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's more Division tech. There's just a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be a pretty substantial update. And as far as I know, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but I didn't look into it. It's free. Like it's not a DLC thing at all or a season pass thing. It's all free.
Yeah.
Same thing with Destiny. If you have Taken King, it's all free.
Yep.
Yay!
2 games getting huge updates tomorrow. It's gonna be great.
You know it.
Which is good because I can't afford to buy new games, so I can just play the 2 games I already have.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Say hi to Joshua in the chat.
Hey Joshua.
Hey,
I
Joshua.
just noticed that you said something too. Yeah, I mean, Sam, obviously Destiny is still not interesting
Not
for you.
enticing you.
I mean, I definitely want to play again, maybe. I mean, like, I want to finish as much as I can of the Division. That way I don't feel like I didn't get my money's worth. I could be convinced to go back. I think I could, but I mean, I
Is
think
this update not enough? Like, are you more likely to hold out for like Destiny 2, or are you just not in a rush to get back to what they're giving you right now?
I mean, honestly, it really depends on like how my life shapes up in the next couple of months.
That's
Because
true.
if I get roommates who are playing the game, I might just have to play. I'm just saying. So I'm not opposed to it. I think it's I I don't think I'm getting the gaps filled the way I was before. Like, I don't think that if I started playing Destiny again right now, I would relive the greatness of the experiences that I had on the
Right.
game to date. And that may end up being something that keeps me from really loving it again.
I can get that.
Uh,
Like when I sit down to play a game, I don't play the Division unless Ben's online, basically, or someone's online. Like now that I'm like 30 and in Dark Zone, I just don't play it unless there's someone to play with.
Yeah.
Destiny's kind of the same. Like I could do stuff by myself, but it's not really that fun. So I
Both
only
those
play it when
games are
someone's online.
exactly the same for me too.
Yeah.
It's like if no one's on, I'm gonna play The Witcher.
Right.
Or now I might play the new Assassin's Creed
Or Final Fantasy
Yeah.
X.
or
Yeah.
Final Fantasy X.
I mean, yeah, the point I'll make here is I don't know if you remember. Well, Mike definitely doesn't remember, but Ben, when I was like really afraid that I wasn't going to hit level 30 in the original Destiny, with it was 30 for Vault of Glass, right?
So-
was the top.
Yeah, so you definitely just said Mike. Ben might not remember, but Mike. I think you meant it the other way around.
Mike, yeah, I thought I said
No,
sorry. Yeah.
I thought he did say that first, and then he reversed it. But
Yeah.
semantics. Point is,
But I mean, like, I was really afraid, and the reason I was afraid was because like I wasn't gonna have friends to play with.
right.
That's what I was afraid of, and I think even now, like being a little bit behind in the division, kind of made me feel like, oh well, what's the real benefit to catching up really quickly? Like, does it really matter? You know, and especially with friends who like are not very hyped about it. And maybe that's just the nature of the game. Maybe it's not a very hype enthusiastic game. Just makes me less and less care about playing.
Yeah, but you knew that I was not hyped about the game.
You are also not my only friend.
I am too. Liar.
I think one thing about the Division, though, at least, is that even if you're like a little bit lower than 30, we could still jump in and play together and like get you up, which is nice. Now I don't know how much that's gonna stay true after tomorrow, because in tomorrow they're adding item grade, which is essentially light level to the gear. So if we get too far ahead, and then even if we do get you to 30 or whatever, then you're still gonna be behind an item or gear level or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a part where I can probably commit some time to catching up and seeing how that goes.
Yeah.
To answer Joshua's question, yeah, I mean the social aspect does. The social aspect is what I enjoy so much of the game, and so even very early on for Division, when I was still semi-actively playing, like I'd get in and then like none of my friends could play with me because I was too low level, and it was just like really disheartening to keep trying to play the game. Like, even though I knew there was only like a certain amount of grindiness that I'd have to put up with, it was just not enough for me to like care. Unfortunately, it still felt like it was too much. Like, I don't know. I hope I can get back at some point, but you know, my schedule's like petering in out now, but we'll see.
I'm messing in my head about which game was better for this, because for both games I had to play catch up at the beginning too. Like I got the Division like 4 or 5 days later, so a lot of you guys were like 13, 14, 15. So I had to kind of rush, and I still didn't really catch up until about 30.
Right.
And I did the same thing for Destiny, where I started with Taken King. I had to go from 1 to 40 pretty much on my own. And I can't really decide which game had a better solo experience. I feel like Division was better, but
I was gonna say
I think it just didn't take
as
as
far as
long.
solo experience goes, Division was better.
yeah. But I like like Destiny too. I played solo with all 3 characters all the way through, and it wasn't too bad. But I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, hopefully it's like this new raid thing is really awesome, right?
Yeah.
See, that is going to be what determines whether or not
It's going to
the
determine
Division is
longevity.
going to be a game that I continue playing.
Yeah. As fun as it is to go in the Dark Zone with like 2 or 3 parties in an alliance.
Yeah, I
This
mean
is a
that
lot
was
of fun.
great. Which were you there that day that we did that?
I was.
Yeah, we had 2 groups of 3, 2 groups of 4.
I think we started
with
we
6.
had 4, but then we got 2 other people, so we split off into 2 threes.
Which was
It was
phenomenally
awesome.
fun.
Yeah. So because basically you can't like take more than one group into the Dark Zone together. But what you do is you take a full party in or whatever, then you kick one person out of the team, and then the other people can join his party and come into the same Dark Zone. So
Because it
so
doesn't
you can
kick him
run-
out of the game or the instance. It
Right,
leaves him
'cause he's already
right where
there.
you kicked him.
So then you have 2 parties or 3 parties or 4 parties of people that are all separate, but they're taught in the same like PS party chat, running through the
Yep.
Dark Zone, helping each
That
other
is
do
so
stuff.
ridiculous.
It's really cool.
It
It's
was
fun.
pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It was actually really funny because at one point, one of us on our group went rogue
Oh, that
by
happened more than
accident.
once. Yeah. Because if you're shooting and then one of your other party members in the other party comes in front of you, you're gonna go rogue on accident or whatever.
This was when another group came at us.
Oh yeah.
And walked in front of us while we were shooting, and then immediately turned around and tried to kill us. And then the other group that was with us also unleashed. So this like group of 3 people had 6 people firing on them at once.
Yeah.
It was really great.
We're not expecting to have so many people against them.
Yeah. But no, it's got some great moments, and
Yeah.
I'm hoping, fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm. I hope it keeps it up because it is a really fun, cool game.
Yeah. All right. Let's. I think it's about time to wrap up.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Remember, you can find us all over the internet. You can find Mike on Twitter at MikeV. That's MAIKV. You can also find him hosting his Let's Play podcast show on our YouTube channel. You can find Sam pretty much everywhere on the internet as DJ Fluffkins. That's DJ FLUFFKINS because he's so fluffy.
Yay!
And you can follow me on Twitter at BRidiculous. That's BRIDDICKULOUS. You can follow everything Nerdy Nights related at nerdy_nights on Twitter. And of course, you can find all of our content, including Let's Play. You can find nightly novels. You can find this show at www.nkrn.org. Thanks again, everyone. It has been an excellent night, and I officially dubbed the Nerdy Knights of the round. Go out and defend the realm of the Nerdy Knights. And until next week, remember, it's dangerous to go alone.